Lane. I'm down on the farms at Larry Marble. It's time for the noon edition of Down on the Farm on one of these 14 affiliate stations. Let's take a look at the National Weather Service office in Austin and San Antonio for this region's weather. Cool, cloudy, east to west, warming up, and sunny in the west later in the afternoon. We're looking for a sunny high of 70 in Langtree, mostly sunny high of 63 in San Antonio, and a mostly cloudy high of 61 in LaGrange. As we look toward, that's in the west. In the east, it will be partly sunny, partly cloudy. Our lows anywhere from, say, 38 to 47. Our highs anywhere from, say, 51 to 55. Now, neighbor, as we move toward Friday, we could see some showers in the a.m. as a front passes through. Sunny in the afternoon. We'll see lows somewhere between 35 and 43. The highs around that 54 to 58 mark. Sunny on Saturday, lows 25 to 32, highs around that 62 degree level. And then on Sunday, lows 31 to 34, highs right in that 64 to 67 degree range. Neighbor, there's your ag weather. Neighbor, while we can, let's check those commodities of ag interest, courtesy of the good folks at McCoy's Building Centers, McCoys.com. March corn, 628 3/4, up 7 3/4. March beans, 1406 3/4, up 3 3/4. March bean meal, 392.80, down $1 and a dime. March hard red winter wheat, 835 3/4, up 17 3/4. March number 2 cotton up 20, 120.58. April live cattle down a nickel, 140.02. March feeder cattle 159.70, down 155. April lean hogs 97.02, up 167. As we look toward the March U.S. dollar index, up 229 points at 96.13. February gold is $1,846.50 by the ounce, up 4.90. And March West Texas Intermediate crude's up 158 at 84.91. Neighbor, there's your commodities of ag interest, courtesy of McCoy's. Hey, neighbor, here's a quick reminder from my friends at McCoy's. You know, Western Red Cedar can be used in a variety of applications, from siding to decking, even as indoor paneling. For folks ready to tackle a DIY project, Red Cedar is a great choice for decks and play sets, particularly because of its naturally occurring thermal properties, which keep the wood cooler to the touch. That's no small feat on a summer day in the McCoy's States of America. Check out the building plans and videos at McCoys.com and get started on your next DIY project using Western Red Cedar. Available at McCoy's Building Centers. Go to McCoys.com for information. Find the McCoy's store near you. Neighbor, top story here at Down on the Farm's kitchen table. Overall, good economic conditions in agriculture led to the lowest non-real estate agricultural lending at commercial banks in the fourth quarter of 2021 in nearly a decade, according to a new report from the Federal Reserve of Kansas City. According to the National Survey of Terms of Lending to Farmers, smaller-sized loans limited agricultural lending at the end of 2021. Non-real estate ag loans at commercial banks in particular decreased by about 13% in the fourth quarter, and the yearly average came in at its lowest since 2012. The decline was driven by a sharp drop in operating loans and lending at banks with the largest farm loan portfolios, according to the KC Fed analysis of data. Despite an increase in the number of typical types of loans, the average size of non-real estate and operating loans was more than 20 and 30% less than a year ago. Loans size decreased considerably at the lenders of all sizes, but the number of loans increased notably at small and mid-sized lenders and decreased at banks with large ag portfolios. Neighbor, now it's time for Around the Caprock with Amarella's James Hunt. We'll get that report from James after this from your local Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Company.
When we moved to Texas, we were like fish out of water. We didn't know anyone in our neighborhood until our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent came to the house. She was so helpful and reassuring, a friendly face with that Texan hospitality I'd heard about. When we purchased a Texas Farm Bureau insurance policy, we knew we were making the right choice. We knew our family would be protected.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to find an insurance agent who's a true neighbor. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Dry conditions continue to pressure local farmers. I'm James Hunt with Around the Caprock on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. Even with a few minor moisture events here and there, drought persists all across the Texas High Plains wherever you look. All counties within the region are currently listed as being at some level of drought. Up in the Dalhart area, where things have deteriorated to the D3 level, farmer Robert Gordon says it's taken a lot to sustain his irrigated winter wheat crop.
I would say we've pumped about 7 or 8 inches on some of this wheat, and normally, to get wheat going, maybe an inch or two. So, we're sure pumping a lot more on than we normally would.
And with Gordon planning to plant his customary corn and seed milo in the spring, those fields might need some irrigating soon as well.
Of course, right now we're having these cold spells every 2 or 3 days, so time you get them cranked up, then you got to turn around and shut them back off. And so we've had sprinklers off for a few weeks now. But if we don't get some moisture, we're going to have to start pre-watering here pretty quick.
When I talked to Robert Gordon on Monday, the forecast was showing the possibility of snow for the middle of the week. I asked him what it would take for a snow to be truly helpful.
6 to 8 inches would make a world of difference. Foot would be better. Of course, the trouble with that is this time of year, if we get a wind with it, it doesn't do a whole lot of good. So you hope to get one of those snows that snows about 6 to 8 inches and the wind doesn't blow for a few days, and that'd be ideal.
Hopefully we have some kind of ideal moisture event soon. One example of how bad it's been, as we began this week, Amarillo had received just 2.4 inches of precipitation since July. That's about 6 inches below normal. I'm James Hunt on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to get insurance for Texans by Texans. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Neighbor Hop Sing is serving chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad. I'll pour the iced tea. We've even got coffee over there if you need to warm up. Benny Cox is going to drink a glass of iced tea really quickly. Benny, tell us how the sheep and goat sale is going to go today.
Well, we got 3,800, which is just a little shy of what we had to start with last week. They ended up selling right at 5,200. We saw a little weakness in some of those hair sheep lambs. Jody said most of them was, kind of the lower end of the light lambs, which have been awful high. Goat deal was just crazy good, just real active and a real strong market. A lot of those goats went up over 50, bringing 470 plus, which is a pretty amazing number. Last year, 460 was about the stopping place. So we got back to where we need to be, I guess. It's part of a big part of the reason is we don't produce more goats than the demand asks for, and that's why you see that market like it is. I promise you.
Right. Now, cattle-wise this week, where are we going to go?
I don't really have a feel for that. It just keeps being drier here. We're going to get a little cold. For this part of the year, they say the high is going to be like 44 Wednesday. Some people just simply won't get out there and work if conditions are not favorable to them. And there's a chance of moisture, they say. I don't think it's a big chance, but we'll take whatever we can get, I promise you.
That's right. Let's remind people of the production sale coming up.
You bet. That's going to be on Saturday, March the 19th. And if anybody's got anything to consign, they need to holler at me. I know it's getting a little dry out there. If you got any, and we want the younger individuals, and they need to have some size to them as well. So kind of, those yearling baby tooth type ewes. Most of the sale has been made up of hair sheep, types. 2 years ago, we sold a good many wool yearlings and that, got along okay. But anyway, we've already started getting some hair sheep bucks and billy goats, and then I've got one consignment of 300 ewes that'll be from baby tooths up to even maybe some solids, but there'll be a lot of those that are going to be heavy bred, going to lay. Everything's supposed to land by May the 15th, and there could be as many as 100 pairs or so on is what they're thinking. So.
Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of y'all.
Well, they can call me on my mobile. It's 325-234-4277. The office, same area code, 653-3371. They can always look at the web, which is producersandcargyle.com.
Neighbor, we're about to run out of time, so grab yourself a bottle of water. Don't get dehydrated. Kolach at $3.45. Milo through Corpus, $12.61. Corn, $7.21. Wheat through Houston, $8.88. Beans through Houston, $13.93. Texas cotton, 7,200 bales at $115.25. That's it for the noon edition of Down on the Farm. Go ahead and take a chicken fried steak with you. I know you'll get hungry before Hop Sing feeds us a Kolach at $3.45. I'm Larry Marble, you're my neighbor. Neighbor, God bless, good day. See you down the road.